What's up, game players? How are you guys doing? I want to welcome each and every last one of you people listening to the Analog Circle Podcast, episode number 73. I'm your host, Kiaun Mitchell, and as always, thank you for spending a little bit of time with your boy right here, man. Shucks, we going to get into some of this gaming greatness, some of the gaming news, feedback section. We're going to get into all of that, brother. But before we get down into the nitty gritty of the gritty, I want to tell you guys that if you want to listen to some other previously recorded podcasts of the show, man, you can find it over on Stitcher Radio. You can go over to iTunes. You can go over to iHeartRadio. You can go over to, what's another outlet, man? I don't know, man. You just hit your Googles, brother. Go ahead and find it, and it's out there, man. And this just in. Well, not really in, but I'm going to add it too. It's a YouTube channel, man, brother. I'll be over there streaming. You know, getting my stream on, getting some of my video on up over there, man. I put the ending to Wolfenstein 2 up over there, man. Go over there and just check it out and do your due diligence, man. Go over there, subscribe, hit the thumbs up, hit the thumbs down, comment. It don't matter to me, brother. Just go ahead and do what you do. But let me tell you this, man, show ain't even started. I'm already sweating, man. It's been such a long time. It feels so good to be back. It's been about 2 weeks and some change since I've been able to do the show. And I gotta tell you, it's because of the job, brother. Yeah, man, it's the holidays. Man, being a truck driver, you ain't home. Okay, you are gone a lot. You don't have the time, and I mean, I'm just gone. So I'm able to get into the show, able to record it. It feels good. Oh man, it feels good on my skin. Yeah, it does. Now I gotta tell you guys, before I get into what I was into, you know, the games that I played, some of the deals that I was able to capitalize on, I want to get into the feedback section first, because I got to say, Mr. Cody Clark was so kind. Okay, he was so kind to hit me up over the holiday, man. And I just feel so propelled, okay? I just feel like I need to do this and read his email, because his emails are always so greatly appreciated. So let's get into his email. And as always, if you want to be a part of the show, feel free to call in at 443-261-4607 or leave an email at the Analog Circle Podcast at gmail.com. Be a part of the show, man. Go ahead and make it happen, baby. All right, now getting into his email. Now the name of his email is called And Breathe. Okay, this is what he says. So the roomie got the X, and we waited a few days to set it up. You saw my tweets about the blasted 4K mode and basically the fact you need the HDMI cable that comes with the system. So that helps a lot. It also moved my old fat Xbox to the side. Oh yeah, the thick bone. I hear you, brother. We decided to get a small TV stand for my old 32-inch HD from like 2012. And we wheeled it off to the side. What did we do after that was all set up? Play Overwatch. I mean, yeah, we could do all kinds of other things, but yeah, we just don't play many other games. The roomie didn't feel the new Assassin's Creed. He said he'll wait for Shadow of War to drop in price. Yeah, right now, I'm waiting for the S to go on sale post-Turkey Day, and I won't lie, I'm looking at a 2DS so I can just play some JRPGs, because I have to come to reality and understand I won't ever get them on the X. I also wish Xbox would have capitalized on the X. Go and give it to you. That was a clever call out. Well, Cody, man, listen, brother, God dog it. I want to thank you for this email, brother. I'll tell you, I don't understand why they didn't do that either, man. You know, the DMX song, X gonna give it. Man, speaking of DMX, man, let me go on a side note here, man. I don't know if y'all heard this, but DMX, Man, that brother was singing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer had a very shiny nose. Anyway, man, that joint was epic. I don't know if y'all heard that yet, but man, X is out there, brother, performing Rudolph the Red-Nosed, man. It was amazing. But getting back to Cody's email, God dog, man, I couldn't even hold back the laugh. God damn it. Listen, Cody, man, thank you for this, brother. I always appreciate these emails, man. You know what? I'm glad that you guys are enjoying the X. Hopefully you got the S, because it did definitely go on sale, $189.99. I think that was a fantastic price for it, man. And, hey, if I wasn't planning on getting the X eventually, I would have probably got the S, because, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a 4K Blu-ray player built in, $190. And people, you know what? People kill me though, bro. And maybe this is a bit of the Xbox fan in me. Maybe I just see things a little jaded. And that's possible. I mean, I'll take that charge. But I feel like, man, people complaining about the X not having the best 4K HD Blu-ray player out there. I mean, god dang, man. Come on, let's just be a little more realistic. Okay, the system isn't even just built for a 4K player. Samsung should have a better 4K player. Pioneer should have a better 4K player. I mean, god dog, LG, Sony, all of them should have better 4K players. You get the doggone system to play the games. That's what you're getting it for. This a daggone bonus to have the movies be in 4K. I mean, get a daggone grip. Okay? Good grief. Anyway, I feel like I'm going on a side tangent here. Let me scroll through your email here, Cody. Yeah, you know what? I gotta say this too, brother. I actually thought about getting a 3DS, because I'm gonna tell you, man, that Metroid game really has me zoned right now. Okay, I mean, I'm looking at it and I'm like, man, Samus looks so good. You know, god dog, this looks like a beautiful game. And I tell you, I really don't think they're gonna bring it to the Switch. It would be so dope if they did that, but I don't think that's gonna happen. So I'm contemplating. I mean, I'm not really into the JRPGs too much, Cody. And like you said, it is a shame that we're not gonna get them on the X. I mean, the X had so many promising JRPGs. I mean, good grief. This is the problem. Like I said, Microsoft wants to hit it out the park the first time. And I mean, they're trying to go for double, triple platinum status the first time out the gate. You can't get that kind of success out the gate. Most games just don't. I mean, they had, Lost Odyssey. People loved that game. I mean, it was great. I didn't play it, but people said it was awesome. So, I mean, this is what happens. JRPGs, I understand that, Microsoft has just struggled. They just struggle with it. Nintendo gets them, PlayStation gets them, I guess it could be just the culture, or something like that. But I understand your frustration, Cody, and I don't even know if it's frustration per se, but I can understand why you would want to get a 2DS to play the JRPGs, because Microsoft is just lacking in that area. But hopefully with some of these deals, maybe they'll, maybe they have a JRPG on the way. I don't know, brother. I don't know. But we'll have to see, man. But Cody, like I say all the time, man, I appreciate your emails. I mean that from the bottom of the heart, brother. I appreciate you, checking with me, over the holiday. That really means a lot. And, I really hope that you enjoyed your holiday, and that you were able to spend it with friends and family and really have a great time. And like I said, hopefully you got the S. Hopefully it was good enough and you were able to pick it up. So Cody, like I said, man, just thank you, brother. Thank you. I can't say it enough, man. Now moving on to the next email, man, these two emails, man, I'm getting spoiled, brother. I'm getting real spoiled right now, man. This second email comes from Mr. Jeremy Parrish. Shout out to you, bro. What's going on, Jay? Man, oh man, let me get into this brother's email. Okay, he says, hello, Kiaun. Hey, what's up, Jay? He says, NPDs are a really good gauge of how well a company is doing. That is why I like checking them out. With the X hitting the shelves this month, Microsoft has the potential to win this month, especially with the price drop on the other family systems. But what I think will hold them back is the lack of games. They need that killer app to move systems. Cuphead is great, and Forza looks beautiful. But are they system sellers? Especially with Black Friday coming up and going up against Nintendo and Mario and Zelda, and the PlayStation 4 with Horizon Zero Dawn, Persona 5, the N-Twins, meaning Nier and Neo. I like how you did that, Jay. Microsoft has an uphill battle. I think if Microsoft wins, it will be more on what Sony and Nintendo failed to do more than what Microsoft does do. You know what, Jay? Man, that's a darn good point. And you know what? I'm glad you brought that up, brother. And thank you for this email, man. Now, let's do a bit of a deep dive into this a little bit, okay? Now, you know, that is the question. You know, I mean, the sale was good. I mean, $189.99 for the Xbox, $199.99 for the PlayStation 4, and $299.99 for the Nintendo Switch. Now, the best point you made, Jay, you said a lot of great stuff in this email, but the biggest and most truthful point that you could have said in this email was the uphill battle is, do they have that system seller? That is the question. Now you look at Nintendo. Nintendo has Zelda. Nintendo has Mario. Even if you want to take it back just a couple months to the beginning, they even have Mario Kart on there. Now that is a system seller. Now one of their newest games, what's the newest game with all of the paint and all of that stuff? Splatoon. Even that, I don't know if that's a system seller because it is kind of new, but they have enough there to make the consumer say, you know what? Mario came out this year. Zelda came out this year. This is a good buy. This is where I want my money to go. Then you have PlayStation 4 with Horizon Zero Dawn, which I played, and I gotta say, good grief, you want to talk about a beautiful looking game. Goodness gracious, it had me on pins and needles and how beautiful that foliage looked. I said, oh, this is real nice. I'm enjoying this a lot. They have that game on there. They have Uncharted 4 on there. They have, what else? What else do they have? This is AAA. They have even, it's a remaster, but God of War 3 is on there. They have, to me, I mean, man, they got a lot of great stuff on the PlayStation 4. Ratchet and Clank. I mean, that was one of the greatest games I played that year. If that was 2015 or 16, I can't remember the year. But that one that came out on the PlayStation 4, that was phenomenal. I think I gave that like a 9.5 out of 10. That game was darn near perfect to me. So they just have the catalog. I mean, PlayStation has an amazing catalog. I do love the Xbox. I'm a genuine fan of the Xbox. That is my preference. I've never shied away from saying that. But I got to say, man, Sony, they got some killer bees on the swarm, Wu-Tang kind of like catalog, man. I mean, they are swarming with some AAA titles. They even got the niche titles down pat. They got Yakuza, which is something that a lot of people don't play, but people like it. They got Gravity Rush, which is another great game. It's a niche game. They got The Last Guardian. I mean, they got you covered. They got some JRPGs. It is an amazing system. So, getting back to the point, yeah, Microsoft is in trouble, brother. I mean, I really think they're going to do well. But like you said, Jay, it is going to be an uphill battle. They're going to have to, you know, that price point, I don't know if that $10 is going to make that big of a difference between the two. I mean, man, it is tough. I mean, the Xbox One X is $500. That is very, very aggressive on the daggone forefront of, you know, having to talk about an actual price point. I mean, it's going to be interesting. I mean, I said I thought that Microsoft had a chance. Microsoft would win NPDs. I got to stick to my guns, man. But I got to tell you, I always thought that Nintendo would be a problem. Nintendo would be the de facto. because they have been selling like hotcakes. And I mean, my Switch, I have my Switch. I have not opened it up yet, brother. I'm going to open it later on this month. I've been enjoying some other greatness, man. Give me a break, baby. Give me a break. Okay? But I'm going to get to it. But man, it's going to be interesting. I mean, I really do believe that Nintendo is going to come out on top. The only thing that could hold Nintendo back, I'll say, is, the lack of stock with the Switch. I think that'll be the only thing, because you got to also remember that the Super Nintendo Mini is also out there. So that's another product that falls under the Nintendo umbrella of NPDs. And I mean, the Super Nintendo Mini has been selling like hotcakes. So I think with the combination of those two systems out there, Nintendo is a sure winner. If not, Microsoft might be able to etch them out, only because they do have a price advantage of $189, or they had, I should say, a price advantage of $189.99 over the Black Friday shopping weekend or whatever. They had that going for them, as well as the Xbox One X, which some people are going to want that power. So we'll have to see. It's going to be very interesting, but nonetheless, like Jeremy said, if you're a listener out there that says, who cares? Who really cares about this mess? I don't care. You're not getting paid if Microsoft does well, or if Nintendo does well, or if Sony toes the mark. Who cares about the numbers? You're not an investor. Listen, calm down. Okay, good grief. People kill me with that one, man. You ready to dog gonna slice your whole neck off. All I'm saying is, just like Jeremy said, it's a great gauge to know how well the company is doing, because let's not act like we're not aware. This doggone industry, companies come and go every single day. Okay, let's not forget Visceral Studios, all right? That just happened. And I understand that's a studio, but hey, guess what? Sega's not around in the console market anymore. It can happen. So just having the NPDs out there to be able to help you gauge, to make sure that the company's doing well. If that's a company that you really enjoy their products, you want to see them do well. Me personally, I want to see all three do well, and I want them to compete. I don't want it to be a one-sided race, because if that happens, competition starts to fade, and it's all about competition. Because if you don't have competition, you get comfortable and you get stagnant, and that means that you're not putting your best foot forward. So that's the only point of the NPDs, in my opinion, to me, to make sure that the companies are doing just fine. Now, once again, like I said, thank both of you, Jeremy Parrish, Mr. Cody Clark. Thank you, brothers, for definitely writing in these emails. It is appreciated. And you, the listener out there, if you want to be a part of this conversation, man, this part of the show, all you got to do, brother or sister out there, is just call in at 443-261-4607, or you can email the show just like Mr. Jeremy and Mr. Cody Clark did at the Analog Circle Podcast at gmail.com. Now, brothers and sisters out there, man, I'm sweating. God dog, my brow was real wet right now. Whew, man, I think the temperature's on about 85, I feel like right now, brother. Oh, man, all right, let me get myself calm. All right, man, now I got to tell y'all, it was a lot of greatness. Gaming greatness that happened for me over these last couple weeks. That Black Friday sale happened on the daggone Xbox Live, brother. Man, I felt like I was doggone addicted. Felt like I was, addicted to a substance. I was just clicking on the button, getting these games, man. Now, what I picked up, brother, I mean, look, I didn't even go out this year, okay? Best Buy is usually my go-to. I go out there, pick up a couple of deals. I'm like, yeah, this is nice. This is real nice. This year, I didn't even go out. I went on, stayed home, clicked on a couple of those Xbox Black Friday deals, brother. Oh, yeah. I'm going to tell you, I picked up Mirror's Edge Catalyst. I picked up Rayman Legends. I got Tomb Raider the Osiris one, that one, which I love those games. Those Tomb Raiders are freaking great, man. That first one was awesome. But I picked up Osiris, I think, that's the name of it. I also got, what's the other one? Oh, man. Agents of Mayhem. I picked that up as well. And there's one more I got that I'm forgetting the name of. But I got those, man. I think I might have spent, for all 5 of the games I got, I don't think I spent over $50. I don't even think, I got all of those. It was way under $50, man. Just an amazing deal. Loved it. I tried to go onto the PlayStation side and show the PlayStation a little bit of that LOVE or that LUV, love. But they just didn't have anything on there that I was really feeling. So, I didn't get a chance to get anything, but still, shout out to PlayStation. They did the best they could, I guess. God dog, man. It's just Microsoft they were on one on Black Friday. And, what else? What else did I do, man? Oh yeah, like I said, I beat Wolfenstein. I enjoyed that game. That game was definitely a solid 8. I mean, for me personally, it definitely lived up to my expectations. A little bit. I thought it might have been just a tad bit better, just slightly better. But that was because the first one was just so amazing to me. And I think it had to do with my expectations of the first one. Because when I played the very first one, I'm not talking about the one back from the PC, brother. We're talking about 360 and early Xbox One days, that one. When I played that one, my expectations were pretty low. So, I mean, as I'm playing, I'm like, God dog, this game has no reason to be this great. So I think that's what it was. So it did definitely set a different precedent for the second one. And it was still good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a great experience. Was able to play through it all the way. I beat it. At the end of it, I felt fulfilled. I felt good, I mean, when I say fulfilled, I'm not talking about like fulfillment. I mean, I felt like, hey, the game was good. It was worth the money I paid for it, end of story. It was definitely a nice length. I mean, I believe it was, I think I beat it in roughly about, maybe 10, 11 hours, somewhere around in there. So about the average length of a nice AAA game. But after I finished that up, man, God dog. Now this game right here, oh man, blew my top all the way off, brother. Whew, man, I played DMC. Yeah, man, Definitive Edition DMC. Think I got this game for like $10, somewhere around there. I talked about it in a previous episode of the podcast. I think it was like an episode or 2 ago, somewhere around there. Man, I got a little deeper into this game. Oh, frick, man. Oh, my gosh. I got into this game a little deeper. This game is the truth. Oh, my goodness. You want to talk about a criminally underrated game? DMC Definitive Edition. Man, hey. I'm telling you, at $10, man, I owe Ninja Theory some money. Okay? I robbed this company. I feel so bad. I mean, this game is really doggone good. The only thing I can compare it to, and I'm being serious, some people may say this is gaming blasphemy, Kiaun. Blasphemy. I'ma tell you, man, this game is on the same level. I'm talking gameplay wise because it is a beat 'em up, like hack and slash kind of game. Man, this game is on God of War levels, dog. I'm dead serious, brother. This game is that serious. The gameplay, the weapons, the combos. This game is amazing. I'm telling you, I'm playing this game graphically. Good grief. Stunning game. Beautiful looking game to look at. I mean, graphics are great. Gameplay is really good, man. I mean, I'm playing this game. I mean, I'm dual wielding with the guns, man, with the ebony and ivory guns, just giving it to the enemies. Then I follow it up with a slash of the sword. Then I switch into the gloves, beat them up with the hands a little bit. I mean, man, brother, Dante throwing them hands, brother. He is throwing some hands in this game. The game is phenomenal. I mean, It is, man, brother. Look, listen, man. I mean, God, dog, I'm running out of breath talking about this game right now. It was worth every single last half a penny that was spent on that game. $10 for that game. This game was so criminally underrated. And the only reason why I gave it a try, because I listened to all of the reviews. And keep in mind, I've never played a DMC game. PS2 era, never touched one. PS3 era, never touched one. But the thing that drew me to this game was I saw the name Ninja Theory. They were behind it. And I waited, I sat on it. I said, I don't know, man. I just haven't heard great things about this game, but it looks so good, and it's by Ninja Theory, who to me, they are batting 1,000. I have not played one bad game from Ninja Theory, okay? We can go down the list. It's not a huge list. That catalog isn't gigantic, but I'll say, look, Heavenly Sword, okay, I played that. Man, that was a great game. I enjoyed it. Didn't finish it. No, I didn't. But I enjoyed what I played. Heavenly Sword, doggone Enslaved was another game. That game was crazy nice. And that ending to that game, oh man, it was a mind blow. I said, what the heck is going on? Am I living in, I ain't even gonna ruin it for you if you play it. But Enslaved was another great game. Then you got DMC that came out about 2 years ago. This game is doggone rock solid. And then after that, Hellblade just came out, and I have that game, and I have not played it yet. As soon as I finish DMC, I'm jumping on that game. I mean, I can't say enough great things about this game. The story, the voice acting, the character development, just getting some of the backstories. Now, don't get me wrong, okay? Don't get me all twisted up and faded. Like, I'm saying the story is the most phenomenal thing you'll ever play. But for me, being a game player that has never played a DMC game, that knows none of the history of the character Dante, that doesn't know anything about him, the detail that they go into with this game, it is fantastic. That's all I'm saying. If you can get the game, get it. I mean, dag, man, just get the daggone game. It's really good. Look it up on YouTube. I just think this game should be experienced. Now, with everything that's positive, it does have a bit of a downside, okay? It's a little bit of a negative. Now, I was streaming this game on the YouTube channel over there at the Analog Circle. Check it out on YouTube. Subscribe, do what you do, baby. But I've recorded some gameplay over there, and I must say the only downside is I was able to beat chapters, and I'm not a great game player by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not one of these phenomenal players. I'm just a guy that loves the gaming culture and loves gaming. So I'm playing on normal, brother. I'm not going all hard and, super hard difficulty. I was able to get through some of these levels in like 20 minutes, 22 minutes, getting through certain levels. I sat down and played for about 2 days. And I'm on like chapter 13 now. I don't know how many chapters it is, but golly, that's the only downside. I don't think it's a long game. I'm guessing this game is going to be roughly about 7 hours by the time I'm finished with it. That's the downside. But god dog, the ride is so dope. Oh my goodness, the story is so good. I've just been enjoying it, man. But anyway, I have rambled on. I mean, I have rambled well over my time. But let's get into, man. God, dog, pardon me. This is going to be a long show, man. But let's get into it, man. What we all come here for. God dog it. And that is the gaming news that went down, starting off with a little bit of GameStop news. Matter of fact, just on a side note, some of you guys might know that from ODB. Rest in peace to Old Dirty, man. Anyway, let's get back on track, man. From the Wu-Tang Clan, god dog it. Now, you guys may remember a few weeks ago, GameStop reported that it would be introducing a game rental service for $60 for 6 months. Well, it looks like those plans have been put on hold. Now, the reason why, you might be asking, It's aging computer systems in the 7,000 locations that are going to be unable to handle and track locations, or I should say track checkouts of the games. Now, the program did have a soft launch at select stores, but since have been told to pull all promotions related to the Power Pass. Now, the customers who were part of the soft launch are being offered full refunds and their choice of a used game. Now, this is the thing, man. GameStop, financially, they have not been in the best place, over the last couple of years. And we know that the digital rise is, it's immense right now. A lot of people are going digital, and we know that their business model is based off of people trading in games and, trading in games for new games. Well, with this digital age, of course, that has definitely bit into a lot of their profits. Now, I actually thought that this program was great. I thought this was going to be phenomenal. And you might say, why? I mean, look, not everybody has the money to go out and get these brand new games. These younger kids that are like 14, 15, have like little small jobs. They can't afford to get every new game that they want to get. I mean, I've been there. We all been there. Where we were kids and there were certain games we wanted to get, and we would spend 3 months trying to save up to get the doggone thing. I thought this was great. That, a parent could pay $60, or the kid or a person who just might not even be into games that heavy, but just want something to play, could spend $60 and be able to get an unlimited amount of rentals over all 3 major platforms. I thought that, how can you say that's a bad deal? GameStop, I don't like them. I don't dislike them. I'm just kind of neutral on them. But even this deal, I had to say, this was great. And the only other thing that we have even relatively close to this is the Xbox Game Pass. So I think that, it's unfortunate that this was unable to work. I'm sure that they'll be updating the systems and getting that into play, because, this is a ton of money being left on the table by GameStop. And I'm sure that this would be a phenomenal gift for people that are, not even less fortunate, just are broke. Just don't have the money. I'm thinking more for kids than anything else. But, Xbox, the Game Pass, y'all get to live for a little while longer before y'all have competition. So we'll see how this whole thing turns out in the end. Moving on into some EA news. Hell, EA been on the hot mother-loving seat, man. Now, EA's chief financial officer, Blake Jorgensen, attended the UBS Global Technology Conference to talk about the future of EA. Now, one of the things he brought up was EA's planned game streaming service, where Blake said the service might see a commercial offering within the next 2 to 3 years. Does that sound familiar? Now, also, Mr. Jorgensen said that they're working alongside an unspecified partner for the upcoming game streaming service. Now, he also added that it's still room for improvement when it comes to bandwidth and faster connections, but they have done tests and were able to reduce the latency to virtually zero. He also hinted around at the team that Jade Raymond put together at Motive, saying that the game will have new, how many times have we heard this? But I'm hoping so, because, let me read it. Now, he says that the game will have new ideas that have never been thought of before and could have an open world environment on the scale of GTA. And will be an action game releasing in EA fiscal year 2021. Now, I gotta let you guys know this really quickly. You guys I'm sure you guys know this, but Anthem will also be releasing in 2018. Now, Motive's game, this game that's supposed to have all of these different elements and supposed to have the scale of GTA. Now, this game is being directed by Jade Raymond. Now, I mean, if you don't know anything about Jade Raymond, this lady is, to me, she's like borderline somewhat of a legend to me, because she was the person that was behind the original Assassin's Creed. And we know that that game, that opened up quite a few doors of how some games operate today. Being able to climb on anything, like any building, being able to scale that building, get up to the top of that building, climb back down the building, the leap of faith. I mean, this was all under her watch. I had never played a game like Assassin's Creed. I mean, it was amazing. So with her being on the team, being the main person, the director, this game could possibly be bringing something different to the action game genre. We'll have to see. But I also, just really quickly, and like I said, some of these, I didn't tell you guys, but some of these stories are old. So some of these things you guys will already know. And I apologize because, like I said, been kind of busy at the job a little bit. So I said, hey, I'm going to just go for it, man. Shucks, I'm out the loop a little bit, but hey, I'm going to do what I do. So, like I said, anyway, getting back on point. This whole thing, I want to talk about this real quick. This whole thing about Star Wars, okay, Battlefront 2, oh man, EA has been getting roasted. Okay, they've been getting chestnuts roasted on open fire with them on this one. I must say, a lot of people are really pumped up and saying how, man, we finally were able to take down the big company that is EA. EA is finally no more. They've lost $3 billion. We have done our job as gamers. We were able to band together and make this happen. And I will say this, that is very, very true. I mean, I give kudos to, those people that were out there waving the flag saying they are not going to do this. These practices are just terrible. This should not be the case. Okay. You're making this, these bad, what do you call it? Practices. I mean, gambling. Man, I don't know if it's called gambling, brother. I mean, I don't understand. I disagree with that. Okay. It's money involved, but you are able to get something out of it. To me, gambling is having the chance of putting money up and not getting anything back in return. So I disagree with that part of it. But people are so hyped up and saying how it made the news. This is the thing. The only reason why, and I'm not trying to be Captain Killjoy here. I'm just being honest, just giving reality checks and reality facts right now. The only reason why this story got as big as it did, it wasn't necessarily because of game players. It really wasn't. It was because it was Star Wars. And who owns Star Wars? Mother-loving Disney owns Star Wars, okay? You got a new Star Wars film coming out later on this month. That was the problem. That was the main thing, okay? Because we got to look at this. Sometimes it's hardcore. It's the hardcore gaming demographic. Sometimes we forget we are the minority here. Hardcore game players are the minority. All right. Most of those sales, yes, we were going to be in the mix, of course, but a lot of those Star Wars sales for Battlefront 2 were going to come from the casual market. Okay. So us being the core market, we're already outnumbered to start with. But the casual market, because it was Star Wars, that is the reason why the game got the attention it did. I'm not saying that game players coming together and saying, we're not gonna take it, that whole situation. I'm not saying that didn't help, but what I am saying is, let's not get delusional here, okay? EA is not going anywhere. EA is not going to stop these practices. What they're going to do, usually, it's very simple. What do people do when they get caught the first time? The second time, they do it the right way. They do it less, to the point where it's less conspicuous, where it's very conspicuous and you just can't see it coming. So EA is not going to learn from this. Yeah, they're going to play nice. I mean, this is, by the way, Disney's property. Okay. They don't want to mess up that partnership that they have with Disney. Big Disney called them on the phone and said, hey man, you better fix this doggone problem. You can't mess up my money flow. Either you fix it or our daggone partnership is over because you're putting my IP in a daggone bad situation. Okay. So we can enjoy this moment. You know, that EA was taken down a peg. But I would really like to know, this ain't even the question of the week, this is just a side question. I would like to know, would it have been this big of an impact if it was a game like Battlefield, you know, instead of Battlefront? You know, would the news have covered it? You know, oh, this game called Battlefield is, you know, allegedly has children gambling, you know, tonight at 7 o'clock news or something. I mean, whatever the frick. You know, I don't think it would have been that big of a deal. But since it was Star Wars, that's the reason why it got mainstream press. So I want to know that. Do you guys think it would have been the same or not with a different game? I think it would have been completely different. But anyway, I've gone off on a tangent. Let's move on into some more of this doggone good gaming news. Now, Rocket League is available for the Nintendo Switch and is available to download. Now, I think this is already out, by the way, but I don't know. But the game will cost $19.99, and the game will also feature additional content similar to what the PlayStation 4 and Xbox and PC have. But in addition to that, it will include Mario, Luigi, and Samus battle cars, as well as other unlockable customization items. Now, I gotta say, man, God dog, Nintendo, y'all cats are just rolling right now. I mean, I have never been so happy for Nintendo. I haven't been this happy for Nintendo, like I said, since the 90s, brother. Okay, it just feels so good that Nintendo was out there. They're getting these third-party support developers to support the system. I'm all tangled up with my words right now. Hold on, let me get together. All right, it does feel good, though, that Nintendo is getting this third-party support. A game like Rocket League is coming to the system for $20, having the Mario and Samus and Luigi battle cars. This is great. I've never played Rocket League. It's really not I can't say if it's my kind of game or not. It looks fun, but I haven't downloaded it. But I mean, it just feels good to see that Nintendo is really getting this third party support. And God dog, I mean, sky's the limit, Nintendo. You keep up the great work. Keep it up. Moving on into the next news story. Now, the Game Awards, oh buddy, will be on December 7th. And will have a runtime of 2 hours and will start at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. Now, my only question, I got to be real with y'all. My only question is, how the heck did PUBG get the nod to be Game of the Year in that category? I mean, God dog, you know, this is the thing, man. I'm still a little salted, okay? I'm still a little Laurie's about the God doggone awards from the year before when Uncharted lost the God doggone Overwatch. No offense, Cody. I know that's your joint, brother. But I don't know. I mean, look, I think it needs to be better rules, man. I think they need to doggone categorize this stuff. I mean, God dang, my speech is all off. Categorize this stuff better, because I don't know how you can be a multiplayer only game and win Game of the Year. I just don't get it. Maybe I'm just from a whole nother era of this gaming situation. It should be story. It's gotta be story driven, right? I mean, darn. I don't get it. And then PUBG, I mean, that took the cake for me. I mean, PUBG really took me to a whole nother place of WTF. You know, what the frick is going on? I mean, this game is still in beta. It's in beta! And they put it up for a Game of the Year award? This is, man, I'm in bizarro world right now, brother. What the heck is going on? Even the guy behind the game said he doesn't even know how the heck this happened. Now, I understand with the gaming awards, I mean, let's be real here, brother. Let's just be 100% honest. It is a popularity contest. I'm going to tell you what games are going to win. I mean, I have no doubt. Mario is going to win somewhere in the line. Zelda's going to win somewhere in there. Cuphead is going to win somewhere in there. And I mean, I really believe, I hope not, but I believe PUBG is going to win. That is the crazy thing, because the game has over 20 million players. I mean, it is a very, very good game from what I hear from people. And I'm not doubting that. What I'm saying is, God dag, I think you're lowering the bar quite a bit, letting a game in beta be up for Game of the Year when so many of these other developers have really worked hard to complete a game and get it out to the mass market. And you're in daggone beta getting up for a daggone award. It's freaking crazy to me. I don't agree. I completely disagree. Jeff Keighley, brother, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I respect the guy, and I'm glad that the show is still going on today. I'm not taking that away from him, but God dog, man, can we get some standards? Standards is all I'm asking for. Darn. Moving on. Shucks. Now, man, I'm sweating like a mother lover. Whew. Now I gotta give Sony mad props, man. Because they continue. I mean, God dog. I mean, they continue to push their VR headset. I mean, so much so that they just announced. Now, this ain't a just. I mean, okay, this is a couple days ago. This might have been a week ago. Let me just let y'all know that. They did announce, though, a Doom VFR bundle that will include the updated PlayStation VR headset, PlayStation camera, and a PlayStation VR demo disc that will feature 13 demos. Now, this bundle will retail for $400 and will be available December 1st. So yeah, this is old now. This is about roughly 3 days old. You actually could have pre-ordered it then and there when I wrote this, but yeah, it's in the store, bro. Go pick that up. I will say this, God dog, man. Black Friday, that was the one item I really wanted that. The PlayStation VR for $300, dog. I really wanted that so bad. Because I said that about a year ago when I played, was it Battlefront, the first one, in VR. I said, look, I can't recommend paying $500. That's just really steep. I can't recommend that. But, I said if I could get it for $300, that would be a sweet spot. And man, I just couldn't pull the trigger. I had to pay some stuff, man. I gotta be an adult sometime, man. I said, shucks. That was a golden ticket, though. $300 for the PlayStation VR. I mean, I think it's worth it. And I didn't talk about this. And this ain't even a topic that I was going to talk about this week, but I feel really bad because I never addressed this in the past. I had actually covered PlayStation Paris Games Week. I covered that conference, and I had to go to work. I didn't have enough time to talk about it. I was so excited at the end of that conference because I thought Sony showed off some amazing stuff. I mean, they showed off so many games I can't even remember. And I was ready to record, and my job called me in early. I couldn't believe it, man. They called me in daggone early to go to work, and I couldn't record that podcast. I'll say that their VR support, I just think that, Sony, I just really admire what they're trying to do with the PlayStation VR. They're not just hammering it to the side, kind of like the Vita and like the PSP when it wasn't doing well, or, amazingly excellent. They kind of set it to the side, but they have so many VR games coming out. I'm looking forward to seeing how Moss does. That looks good. I'm looking forward to, it was so many games they showed at Paris Games Week. I mean, just outside of the VR. The Last of Us Part 2. I messed that all up. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. But anyway, God dog, let me move on. Shucks, this show is going to be forever. Moving on. For game players that can't get enough, and I talked about this game earlier, but if you can't get enough, don't stop till you get enough. Wolfenstein 2. Bethesda has officially announced its DLC plans. Now, the first episode is called Zero. episode 0. And that is available right now if you have the season pass or pre-ordered it. Now, the next one is going to be The Adventure of Gunslinger Joe. That'll be available on December 14th, which will feature a former quarterback named Joseph Stallion, who goes through Nazi hordes from the ruins of Chicago to outer space. Oh, this brother's doing it all, man. Now, the third DLC releases on January 30th, and it's going to be called The Diaries of Agent Silent Death, which puts you in the role of XOSS agent Jessica Valiant, where you will infiltrate Nazi bunkers in California and discover the secrets of Operation San Andreas. Now the final, that was so terrible. Now the final expansion for this game, God dog, it will be The Deeds of Captain Walker. Now that's going to release on March. Actually, I ain't even no date for that. It's just going to be in March, brother. God dog. Okay. Now this is going to have you, actually, taking on the role of, like I said, Mr. Captain Walker, where you will face the task of dismantling a Nazi operation in Alaska. Man, it's cold up there. Now, if you didn't know this, though, the season pass will cost $25, but you can buy them individually as well. But no price point has been released as far as the individual prices for these games. So we'll have to see how that goes. But I'm kind of curious. I got to say, the old blood, I thought it was, for $20, hey man, you got a lot of bang for your buck for $20. Let's just be real about that. But anyway, this seems pretty cool. We'll see how it goes. Now, moving on into some more Sony news. God dog, now this is old news too. You guys might have heard this, you might not have, but here we go. Now, the cult classic Siphon Filter just got the name trademarked by SIE Europe. Now, could this mean the game could make a comeback? Anything is possible, but who knows? Now, the last Siphon Filter game we saw was back in, I think it was 2007. Yeah, 2007. I think it was called Logan Shadow, but it did get ported to the PS2 in 2010, I believe. Somewhere in that realm. Now, I believe Sony Bend Studios is behind this IP, but right now they are working on Days Gone, which I'm looking forward to that game, but man, it just seems too close to home of what The Last of Us is. That's the only situation I'm having with that game. I mean, I do realize that he's on a motorcycle, and I mean, it's hundreds upon hundreds of these zombies that are coming to you. That is a little bit of enough to make the two differ from each other, but I just get a Last of Us vibe from that game. Now, I'm hoping it's successful, and I'm sure it's going to be out sometime next year. So who knows? Maybe this will come to fruition. Maybe not. I mean, we've seen the game that was Capcom that was supposed to be released. Or was it The Bottom Down or Deep Down or something like that? That was supposed to have been a release title for the PlayStation 4, but it never made it. And then it got renewed twice. The name did, and still nothing has been heard from that game. Down Below, I don't know. It's something like that. But we'll see. It could come out to fruition and it might not. But stay tuned about that one. Now, into some more news about Shadow of War. Now, this game hasn't really been seen in a real positive light lately, with the loot boxes and all of that stuff. But maybe this will help its reputation a little bit. Now, they will be offering free content updates to the game starting, oh my gosh, this is old, on November 21st. God darn, it's already out in the wild, man. Y'all probably know about this. Now, if you don't though, I'm gonna read it anyway. Now, that will bring the following content. God dog. An endless siege mode is one, rebellion mode, and and enhanced photo mode. Now, Siege mode will have you defending your fortress against Surion's forces. Rebellion mode will have you trying to defeat the rebellious Ologs and Yurks in your ranks. And the other free update will be available December 5th. Okay, at least I did beat it on that one. That'll be coming out tomorrow or today when you're listening to this. And that will include an online fight pit that will allow player versus player orcs to fight to the death. And on December 12th, the game will get more difficult because a new difficulty tier called Brutal will be unlocked. I've heard mixed things about Shadow of War. It was a game that I wasn't initially gonna pick up, but over the last couple weeks I haven't heard great things on it, so I'm just gonna wait for the price to just drop a little bit. I'm still gonna try it because I want to try it for myself. That's the best way to figure out if a game is good or not. Try it for yourself, man. Forget the reviewers, forget the critics. Go in there and do your own due diligence about that. So we'll see what happens with it. But, it is cool that these things are going to be free and offered. And hopefully it'll help the game to get more positive traction in the future. Moving on to the next story. Let's see. Yeah, Gears 4 is already in the Game Pass. That's dope. That happened on December 1st. So that's awesome. Oh yeah. This is really old, but I mean, if you have an Xbox and you brought a game on it, I'm sure you've already seen it. But gifting is actually an official feature of the Xbox One, which is really, really cool. So if you have a friend that lives in a different city or a different state, and you can't hook up with them every day and you want to get them something, all you got to do is say, look, I'm going to give you this game. Did you want it, brother? Enjoy it. Have a good time with it. So that is dope. Now, moving on into the next story. Now, this is where it gets a little more updated. Now, if you thought PUBG, the stories get a little more updated, I should say. But if you thought PUBG would only be available on, and this is interesting, only be available on the Xbox One and PC, oh, you would be so wrong. Now, a mobile version is being worked on. Tencent, this company is huge. Tencent announced this week that they will be working with developer Bluehole to port the game to smartphones for a Chinese audience. Tencent is also promising a similar experience to the PC version. Now, the game is set to release in China first, but no release date was given. And just as a side note, this game, like I said, it's up for a Game of the Year award. I mean, I don't know why, and I'm sticking by that. I don't know why that happened, but the game, like I said, it sold over 20 million copies, which is, god darn, that's freaking phenomenal. But we'll see how this all happens and comes out in the wash, see what happens, if it'll come here to the States, to the mobile market here. But like I said, right now, it's only set to release in China. Tencent is really, really killing it, man. They are really big overseas, and they seem to be somewhat working their way over here. But we'll see how this happens. I mean, how it works. Anyway, I'm rambling on too much. Moving on to the next story. Now, you guys may remember quite some time ago that the game Ukulele was supposed to release on the Wii U, but it actually got canceled. Well, good news. Well, kind of. Now the game will release on the Switch on Thursday, December 14th, and will include the improvements made to the game, such as the camera. Camera was really rough on that game in the beginning, but they have definitely changed that up to be a lot more positive. Now, one very interesting thing is that Playtonic is doing, and this may be a first. They're actually including this is really dope, man. They are including a custom achievement system as well as single Joy-Con play. Now, this is, again, Nintendo getting the third-party support. I remember when Playtonic was talking about this, I thought they were getting ready to snuff the whole Nintendo version in general, because something happened. I think this came out during the time when the Wii U was basically being canceled and it was on its last legs. And they said, well, you know, if you pre-ordered it, then we'll give you your money back and, you know, you don't have to worry about it. Or for people that want the game, we'll make sure that we come up with some kind of way so you'll be able to, you know, get the game or something. But anyway, they actually were able to do it. Nintendo has another game on their console this year. I got to say, just, man, Nintendo, man, this is great. It really feels good to see Nintendo getting all of this third-party support. I'm just hoping that it continues next year. I can't remember Nintendo having this great of a year in such a long time. I'm not counting the Wii. Everybody wants to talk about the Wii, sold so many units, and yes, that is true. They did their thing. But like I said, to me, I feel like they are really going for the core audience with the Switch. These games that are being released, to me, these are core audience games. And I'm so happy to see that Nintendo is really, really on a roll right now. I just hope that it continues. And them getting Yooka-Laylee, that's awesome, man. And just the fact, I mean, let's just talk about this just for 1 second. Playtonic actually including a custom achievement system in the game. When have you seen a Nintendo product get any kind of achievements? That is so cool. So Nintendo guys who have never played a PlayStation, who've never played the Xbox, you guys will be able to get that same feeling that some of us get when we're playing these games and it pops. I don't know how this system is going to work, you know, but when you pop an achievement or you pop a trophy, you know, you do get a certain feeling when that happens. I mean, I'm not out there searching for these joints. I'm not doing any special missions for these things, but when they do pop up, it does feel good. It feels great. So moving on from there, I mean, I'm just glad Yooka-Laylee is coming out on the console. This is dope. All right. Now, you know, The Last of Us Part 2. I talked about that a little bit. The Last of Us Part 2 really made a splash at Paris Games Week and left many of us with more questions than answers. Well, we may get a few of these questions answered. Now, this is the thing. See, I set that up so bad, man. My writing is so poor. I'm going to start this over because I have to introduce this the proper way. All right. Now, you know, The Last of Us, I'm not going to say all that stuff over again. Listen, man, you know, it left us with more questions than answers. I mean, good grief, person was hanging from the daggone, tree or whatever. They sprung her up. They broke the other girl's wings that were actual arms and whatnot. But anyway, left us with a lot of questions, right? And not enough answers. Well, we may get a few of those questions answered very soon because Sony has announced that there will be a panel that will feature Naughty Dog and have writer/director Neil Druckmann and writer Haley Gross, I think her name is, I don't want to say Gross, but it looks like it says Gross. Haley Gross, as well as key members of the cast that will be there. So this is going to be really cool. Now, just as a side note, Haley Gross actually wrote Westworld for HBO. So this woman, you know, she can write up a script, brother. And I tell you, that trailer, man, you want to talk about a dope trailer. I don't understand what, you know, journalists were talking about. I mean, God dog. Some gaming journalists, not all, man, but some gaming journalists just need to relax. You know, just take a chill pill and sit back and just relax. I mean, they're getting all up in arms about the violence that was in the trailer, the violence towards women and all of this other stuff. I'm like, dog, come on, man. It's The Last of Us. What did you expect? I mean, the first Last of Us was brutal. All right. What was her name? Ellie? Ellie was jumping on people's backs, stabbing them up, brother. I mean, she was getting it. I mean, it was real. It was something else. Okay. I mean, that's just a part of the game. So for these journalists who have gotten up in arms and all concerned about it, I didn't see what the big deal was, but it's what they do. They're modern day, what was the guy's name back in the day that used to be against some game so hard? I can't think of his name. Anyway, we'll see what happens with this. I'm very interested in The Last of Us 2. I think it's going to be great. When I saw them put the knife to the woman's stomach, it made me think, brother, could that be Ellie's mother? Could this be a flashback scene of what happened, early on when the situation broke out with the breakout of the people being infected? It raised a lot of questions. And of course, I'm not expecting, Neil Druckmann to go into amazing detail about the story, because this happened last year at PSX. When they were on the couch and people were all pumped up and they were trying to get answers, and Neil Druckmann and the cast played it very, very cool. Well, they weren't really giving up a lot of answers, but nonetheless, it's great that they're going to be there. And, just to even go a little further with this, if you're interested in this, like I said, PSX is going to happen, but, if you're interested in this, it will be streamed live on Saturday, December 9th. It's going to be starting at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. Now, on top of this panel, Sucker Punch will also be talking about their new project, Ghosts of, oh man, I messed this all up, brother. Tsushima. Man, forgive me if I said it terribly, but I believe it's Tsushima. Now, as well as Media Molecule, who will be talking about Dreams. I kind of botched that section up, but nonetheless, look, 3 games are going to have panels. The Last of Us, Sucker Punch with their game, Ghost of Tsushima, as well as Media Molecule. They're going to be there with Dreams. So, Dreams, I have not heard anything from that game in the last 2 or 3 years. I'm actually a fan of Media Molecule, unlike some people who didn't like Little Big Planet. I loved Little Big Planet. I thought it was great being able to make your own world. It actually gave me an idea of what it must be like to be a developer, because to get the blocks right, setting things up, making the level fun, you have to be a very creative person and very patient to put that stuff together. So I really enjoyed Little Big Planet 1 and 2. I didn't beat 3. No, it was just, it was a 3, right? 1, 2, and 3, I believe. I didn't play the latest one. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, Dreams will be good. I just don't know what the game is. That's the only thing. But anyway, moving on from that. Now, God, dog, this show is really going way longer than I thought. But this year marks the 30th birthday for the Blue Bomber, Mega Man. And to celebrate that, Capcom will be live streaming the game on Monday, December. Oh, shucks. I think that was today. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get past this, brother. This is old. Oh, shucks. But some more Mega Man news did come out, and shout out to can I forget his name, man? Chad Harper. Shout out to Chad Harper, man. That brother sent me a story talking about a new Mega Man is gonna be coming out. I think it was Mega Man 11. Is going to be coming out next year, 2018. So I'm sure that they must have revealed that as this live stream was going on. So for people who weren't fans of the other game that wasn't Mega Man, but it was by the same guy that made Mega Man, I forgot the name of it. Hey, hopefully this one will live up to expectations, and we'll see. Now, moving on into some Monster Hunter news, it looks like Monster Hunter World will be giving gamers a little taste of what they can expect, because the beta for the game will go live on December 9th, 9th through the 12th, and it'll be starting at 9 a.m. Pacific time and 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, this version is only available on the PlayStation 4. So you have to own a PlayStation 4 to play this beta. And I think, man, I have never played a Monster Hunter game. I'm very interested in this one for some reason. It really looks good, looks very interesting. So I'm going to be pumped up to see how it goes, to see if it can live up to, I don't really have any expectations for it, but for people that have played the game, hopefully it'll live up to theirs. So December 9th is going to be a very busy day. That's PSX. That's the day this comes out. I mean, the day before is going to be the Video Game Awards. It's going to be a really good week next week. But moving on into the next story. Now, this is in Rumorville news. Now, on December 15th, Bandai Namco will be hosting a special event where unannounced games will be shown. Now, one of those rumored games, now I have to really put a big stamp on rumor. It's a rumor. One of the rumored games is a Dark Souls collection that could be coming to the Nintendo Switch. Tell me if you saw that one coming. The Nintendo Switch. That is, I don't know, man. That would be something. But that's what they say. That's the rumor. The game could come through, and man, that would just mean Nintendo was really freaking killing everything to get a collection. Man, we'll see. We'll see how that goes, man. But the final story that I have this week in this long podcast, I'm not going to do video game theater this week because of the length of the show. Regarding the Video Game Awards, Hideo Kojima and Mr. Del Toro will be presenters at the event. So who knows? Maybe we may hear more about Death Stranding. We haven't heard anything about this game in quite some time. I thought it may have shown up at PSX, but it looks like it has a good chance, not a perfect chance of showing up, but a really good chance of being shown at the Video Game Awards. So we shall see how this goes. But guys, that is the end of the gaming news this week and from the week before and the week before. So it's no video game theater this week, man, only because of the sake of time. I think I have held you guys up way, way too long. We are 12 minutes overdue, so I try to keep the podcast to an hour. I kind of knew this one was gonna, go a little longer because I hadn't, done it in a while. But, I definitely do have a question for you guys this week, and this is actually pertaining to a little bit of PUBG news. Now, a lot of you guys may have heard about this already earlier this week or late last week into this week. PUBG, at one point, the developer came out and said that the game was going to be 60 frames per second on the Xbox One X version. And they were going to have the regular Xbox One S or Xbox One version running at roughly about 30 frames per second. Now, this got people up in an uproar quite a bit. I mean, even I was upset. I don't have an X, but I'm definitely going to be getting one very soon. And this even made me upset. So my question to you guys is this. I mean, I really want to know, should Xbox One and Xbox One X have performance parity? Should they both be on the same level? I don't think so. I think that if you paid for the Xbox One X, you should definitely be able to get that performance that you're paying for. That'll make people very, very upset. If you've paid $500 for a console that can do the 60 frames per second, but is going to be held back by the other system that can't, that makes you have to ask the question to yourself, why should I pay for an Xbox One X? Now, that is a bit extreme on my part because there are definitely features that the X has that the vanilla Xbox One doesn't. I mean, having 4K textures, being able to have faster loading times, being able to, have, a better frame rate on certain games. I mean, that you gotta take that into consideration, but it does leave that question in the air. If I do buy this game, will it be held back, because of the other, console? So, I mean, that's the question for this week. Should Xbox One and Xbox One X have performance parity? I was your host this week, Kiaun Mitchell. But before I get out of here on this very, very long episode, I definitely want to shout out Aaron, Tiny, and Mike over at Game Enthuse. Definitely check those brothers out. They're always supportive. Those guys are fantastic. Definitely check out Gamertag Radio. That's another great podcast. Check out Weapon Wheel Podcast. They're fantastic. As well as Crap Gamer, man. I know people don't like Crap Gamer. Me, myself, he's an Xbox fan similar to myself. He has a preference. I don't know why people hate on the guy so bad. I think he's a pretty good guy. Definitely, if you are an Xbox fan, definitely check out his YouTube channel. Crab Gamer is a cool guy with me. I don't have any problems with him. And, yeah, that's about it, man. So check out those other gaming podcasts. They're fantastic. And, with that being said, man, I am actually really tired, brother. I'm about to get up off of here, man. But as always, like I say, if you want to be a part of the show, call in at 443-261-4607 and leave a voicemail, or leave an email at the analogcirclepodcast@gmail.com. It'll definitely be read on the next episode. So once again, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. And with that being said, remember this, it's not about the consoles. It's about the games. You guys take care. Oh, until next week. It's been so long, I'm tripping over my own stuff. But anyway, until next week, you guys take care. Be safe out there. Bye-bye.
Fast cars, speedboats, all sorts of villas. Bad girls, jewelry, drive-by, chinchillas. RP to Mike, but I'm the real thriller. I'm done with that though, I ain't beefing with the family, man. Shit, I'm still in the PJs like Candyman. With dudes selling whole halves of candy yams. Despite that, the garage looked like Candyland. Candy painted, ain't nothing about me tainted. Drove every car you name it. Look, homie, come get acquainted. Can't change it or rearrange. Disclaim it because I'm heinous. Nah, to make you famous. Blow, that for the plane. The guns range, no goggles to targets. They test the nozzles, the bullets, they on point. Them points you call hollow. In the club, we get the bottles, we leave it, we hit the throttle, then pull up inside McDonald's with porn stars.